First things first, how do you pronounce the name of these new GFore shoes? The Gallivan2R. Well, turns out it's Gallivan2R. Of course it is. If you were a fan of GFore's Gallivanter shoes, which were a spikeless traditional style golf shoe, but you wanted something that looks maybe slightly more modern and slightly more comfortable, then you might be in luck with the Gallivan2Rs. However, at £150 or $175, they're still not exactly cheap. So what are they like to wear out on the course? How do they fit? How do they feel? And how do they perform? Those are all things that I'm going to cover in this video right now. They have got a lot of room around the toes. They feel nice and flat and nice and wide in this area, which does mean that you're getting a good amount of stability in these shoes, but we'll cover more on that in a moment. The synthetic upper is soft-ish, certainly felt softer out on the market, which means that I can definitely feel that upper kind of here above my toes at the bottom of the laces section. It wasn't uncomfortable to wear out on the course, but I've definitely used shoes with more comfortable uppers. The rear of the shoe looks quite sporty and aggressive, but I didn't have any issues with blisters or rubbing on the Achilles area. I found these nice and comfortable. Just generally comfortable all round, to be honest. There's enough padding on the heel and ankle, and of course you have got the standard pimple insole from GFore, so it means that your feet are getting a nice little massage every time you take a step in these shoes. If you've never worn a pair of GFore shoes before, that is a very nice, comfortable sensation, at least in my opinion. In terms of comfort underfoot, you've got quite a slim midsole foam here. It's given you enough softness and cushioning underfoot. These certainly aren't uncomfortable, but I've got to admit, compared to other golf shoes that I've tried, these do feel perhaps just a little bit on the firmer, flatter side. That's not necessarily a problem. If you're the type of golfer that really likes to feel in your shoes and feel that you're connected to the ground, well, you certainly get that feeling with these shoes. They're just not the softest, most cushioned feeling in the world. Now, because these are from GFore, you're gonna have some interesting style choices, although with the Gallivan2Rs, it is quite a muted design, at least in the upper. You can, of course, get full-blown wild colorways if you want, but I've got them here in this white and navy, and they just look like quite a nice, modern style, traditional based pair of golf shoes. Can't believe that's a thing now. You have got the GFore2R logo on the side there, and then GFore on the inside. And on the heel of the shoe, you've got some coordinates as well. I think they're the coordinates for maybe where these shoes are designed or made. And then you have got the kind of lattice work on the midsole foam too. And you've got this TPU heel counter at the rear. Overall, quite a pretty muted design. Of course, when you then lift your heel at the end of your golf shot, everyone's going to see this very loud and vibrant outsole. And I got to admit, I quite like the clash of the tone down on top and the tone up underneath. One of my biggest worries with these shoes was whether this outsole was going to give me enough grip out on the golf course. You can see here that it's a very non-traditional looking outsole design. You've got all of these kind of rubber TPU spikes, if you can call them spikes, but they're certainly not as aggressive as normal spikes, even compared to the GFore Gallivanters, which, although they are spikeless in that they haven't got removable spikes, they're certainly more aggressive claw-like design. These seem quite a gentle design. The little triangle patterns on each one of these circle is giving you an element of traction. And I've got to say that out on a dry course here in the UK, I didn't slip once with these shoes. However, I certainly wouldn't trust not slipping in these shoes if it started getting pretty wet out on the course, or if I really wanted to have to rely on the performance of the shoes. So if I was going to wear these in maybe the club championships, or if I was playing for $1 million, which I'm never ever going to do, these wouldn't be the shoes that I would wear. They're giving you enough grip and traction and performance out on the course that, generally speaking, you're not going to have to worry. But in the back of my mind, it's always there that I'm going to slip at some point in these shoes. In terms of performance, I did feel nice and locked into these shoes, and I did feel that they were surprisingly stable. They have got a good, wide, flat base on these shoes, and there is a TPU outsole, and you've got a TPU shank in the middle here, offering you some stability as well, but you haven't got a harness on the upper or anything like that. It is just this synthetic material, and despite all of that, they were actually nice and stable. They're not the most stable golf shoes that you're ever going to try, but they're going to be plenty stable enough for the majority. GFore have also made sure that they've got these notches out of the outsole here, which means that they can naturally flex and twist in parts. You can see here that you have got a nice amount of flexion in the outsole, meaning that if you are going to be walking the course in these shoes, then actually, although you haven't necessarily got the softest feeling underfoot, at least they are going to move naturally with you when you walk. I did my full waterproof test on these shoes, pouring 300 milliliters of water over both the upper as well as the bottom section of the laces. And as you can see here, yes, the upper did keep out the water, but unfortunately, these do let in a little bit of water down at the bottom of the tongue area here. So if you do get caught in a heavy shower or walk through thick rough, then your feet might get a little bit wet in these shoes. But to be honest, that's pretty much the par for most shoes that I test. If you're finding any of the information in this video helpful, please make sure you smash that like button and follow the channel. And if you are the type of golfer that likes a bit of a bargain, then make sure you sign up to my free monthly golf deals newsletter. Links are down in the description below. Personally, did I like these shoes? Yeah, they're all right. Would I rush out and buy them? Probably not. If you're looking for an alternative that feels pretty similar but with Jordan branding, then you might want to check out the ADG4s or the new 5s. If you're looking for a different modern but classic style pair of golf shoes, but you want significantly more comfort underfoot, then I recommend you check out my full review of the Adidas MC80 golf shoes right here. And if you're looking for a pair of shoes that kind of look like these but are more comfortable and cost significantly less, then check out my full review of the Puma Avant golf shoes, link right here.